Good evening, and welcome to Still Hours. I'm really glad you're here. My name is Grant, and I'll be keeping watch while you rest. You've made it to the end of the day, and there's nowhere else you need to be right now. Tonight is just for rest, nothing else. So if you can, begin by settling in to a comfortable position. Let your shoulders soften. Let your jaw relax, and allow your breath to slow just a little. In through your nose, and out through your mouth at your own pace. There's nothing you need to solve, nothing you need to fix, nothing you need to remember. I'll keep watch, and you can rest. Whatever kind of day you've had, busy or quiet, stressful or calm, you don't need to carry it with you into the night. You can place it gently to the side. Tomorrow will be there when you wake. For now, your only job is to become more and more comfortable. Feel the softness of your pillow, the weight of your blanket, the steady support of the bed beneath you. Each breath a little slower. Each exhale a little longer. Notice the quiet of the room around you. Maybe there's a distant sound, a fan, or traffic far away, or the hum of the house settling. Let those sounds remind you that you're safe, that the world is still gently turning, even as you begin to drift. With every breath, your body knows exactly what to do. It knows how to soften. It knows how to rest. It knows how to sleep. In a few moments, I'll tell you a story, a quiet story, a slow one where nothing urgent happens. Tonight, we'll We'll spend some time after hours at a movie studio, the kind of studio that's busy all day, filled with voices and movement and lights. But at night, it becomes something else entirely. Calm, spacious, almost like it's breathing out after a long day. We'll walk through empty sound stages, past quiet offices, and down softly lit hallways where the echoes of the day have finally faded. You don't need to stay awake for the whole story. You don't need to follow every word. If your mind wanders, that's perfectly fine. If you fall asleep halfway through, that's even better. I'll stay here and keep the story going, whether you're listening or dreaming. So let your eyelids grow heavy. Let your breath become slow and easy. And when you're ready, we'll begin. The world outside the studio walls begins to fade into a soft, distant hum. You arrive at the heavy iron gates, the familiar boundary between the busy city and this quiet, manufactured world. The air is cool, carrying the faint scent of evening dew on pavement. You look toward the security booth, a small island of light in the deepening blue of the twilight. Inside, the warm yellow glow of a desk lamp spills across the glass, casting a small amber circle on the floor. It is a steady light, a constant light. You watch a small moth dance slowly around the outer pane, its wings making a tiny, rhythmic tapping sound. Tap, tap, tap against the cool glass. You see the guard inside. He offers a slow, practiced nod, a silent greeting shared 1,000 times before. His movements are deliberate and unhurried. He reaches for the controls, you hear a mechanical sigh of the gates beginning to wake. The sound is a low, grounded drone. Then comes the click, a solid, rhythmic clack, clack, clack of the chain pulling the heavy metal back. It is a heavy sound, but it is not harsh. It is the sound of things working exactly as they should. The gates slide open inch by inch, revealing the long silver stretch of the studio's main artery. As you pass through, the sound of your footsteps shifts from the gritty texture of the sidewalk to the smooth, polished asphalt of the lot. The air here feels stiller, protected. You pause for a moment, just breathing in the scent of the night, a hint of old wood, a trace of floor wax, and the neutral, clean smell of empty space. You turn back to see the gates closing again. The same slow drone, the same steady rhythm. The metal bars overlap, sealing the quiet in. The yellow light of the booth stays quiet behind you now, a fading glow as you begin your slow, circular walk into the heart of the studio. Everything is exactly where it was yesterday. Everything is exactly where it will be tomorrow. The night is vast. The buildings are tall and silent, and your walk has only just begun. You feel the weight of your keys at your side. A gentle melodic jingle with every slow step. Jingle, step, jingle, step. You are exactly where you need to be. There is nothing to do but observe. There is nothing to do but walk. The silence is a blanket, and you are simply moving through its folds. The main gate is far behind you now, and the silence of the back lot settles over your shoulders like a soft, familiar coat. You are walking down a street that is not a street. A row of facades designed to look like a bustling city. But now, in the moonlight, it is a gallery of beautiful, hollow shells. Your boots make a rhythmic, hollow sound on the pavement. Thump, thump, thump. It is a grounded sound, a comforting sound. To your left, a row of brownstone houses stands tall, their windows dark and peaceful. You know that behind these doors there are no rooms, only the sturdy wood scaffolding that holds the dream in place. It is a quiet architecture, a world held in place by beams and shadows. A soft breeze wanders through the faux alleyways. It is a gentle wind, smelling of cool stone and the faint, sweet scent of the dry hills beyond the studio walls. As the breeze passes a second-story window, you see a pair of lace curtains flutter. They move slowly, drifting out into the night air, and then retreating back inside, over and over. A soft, white wave, in and out, in and out. There is no one behind them to close the window, and no one inside to feel the draft. There is only the movement of the air. You stop for a moment, letting your eyes scan the horizon of rooftops, the silhouettes of fake chimneys and water towers press against the dark velvet of the sky. Everything is stationary. Everything is at rest. From the shadow of a prop crate, a small shape emerges. It is the studio cat, a mottled calico you have seen many times before. She does not hurry. She moves with a liquid grace, her paws making no sound at all on the pavement. She stops in the middle of the empty street, her tail twitching in a slow, hypnotic arc. You watch her, and she watches you. There is no urgency in her gaze. She is the quiet inhabitant of this quiet world. She stretches, lengthening her spine into a tall curve, then lets out a soft, silent yawn. With a gentle blink, disappearing into the shadows of a Western storefront. You begin to walk again, jingle, step, jingle, step. The facades change as you move. Now you are passing a row of seaside cottages, their painted shingles looking soft and silver in the moonlight. The transition is seamless. One world ending, another beginning, all held together by the same stillness. You notice a prop bicycle leaning against a lamppost. It has been there for days. It will be there tomorrow. It is a fixed point in your slow, circular world. You breathe in the cool, still air. Your lungs feel clear. Your mind feels as empty and peaceful as the streets around you. You are simply a witness to the silence. You are the keeper of the quiet. The back lot stretches out ahead of you, a map of familiar shadows, and you follow the curve of the road. You reach the massive insulated door of Soundstage 4. It is a heavy door, thick and soundproof, designed to keep the world out. You pull the handle and it opens with a slow, pressurized hiss, the sound of a long, deep exhale. As you step over the threshold, the air changes. It is drier here, cooler, and carries the nostalgic scent of the studio's inner life. It is the smell of freshly sawn pine, a fine layer of ancient dust, and the faint ozone tang of cooling electronics. It is the scent that feels like time standing still. You step onto the plywood floor, and the sound of your walk changes. No longer the solid thump of asphalt, but a deep, melodic resonance. Hollow, deep, hollow, deep. The sound echoes up into the high, dark rafters, bouncing softly off the sound-dampening quilts that line the walls. The stage is a cavern of shadows, but your eyes adjust to the dim safety lights. On the floor, you see the cables, hundreds of thick black snakes, all tamed and coiled into perfect circles. They are tucked neatly against the walls, their loops repeating in a rhythmic pattern. Each coil is identical to the last, round and black, round and black. In the center of the room stands the skeletal remains of a set, perhaps a library or a quiet study. The tall wooden flats are braced with sandbags. You look up at the lighting grid, high above in the darkness. The great industrial lamps have been turned off for hours, but they are still settling. You stand perfectly still and listen. Tink, tink, tink. It is the sound of the metal housings cooling down, a tiny rhythmic contraction, a metallic heartbeat. Tink, tink. It is a small sound in a very large room, a reminder that the day's heat is gently fading away. You walk through the simulated room, trailing your fingers across the edge of a prop desk. It is smooth and cool. You notice a stack of fake books on a shelf, their spines perfectly aligned. They have no words inside, only the weight of the shelf and the stillness of the air. You move toward the back of the stage, passing a row of directors' chairs. Their canvas seats are taut and empty. They sit in a perfect line, waiting for nothing. The silence here is heavy and comfortable, like a thick wool blanket. It presses gently against your ears, tuned to the frequency of rest. You take a slow, deep breath, tasting the dry wood and the stillness. There is no wind here, no movement, only the slow cooling of the metal and the steady, rhythmic pulse of your own quiet presence. You turn to look back at the door. The small exit light casting a soft red glow across the floor. Everything is in its place. The cables are coiled. The lights are cold. The set is asleep. You continue your walk, leaving the stage exactly as you found it, moving back toward the heavy door and the soft, waiting night. You move from the vast emptiness of the soundstage into the narrow, carpeted corridors of the post-production wing. Here, the air is different again, filtered and cool, with a faint, clean scent of static and carpet fibers. The floor beneath your feet is soft now, absorbing the sound of your steps until they are nothing more than a muffled, rhythmic heartbeat. You pass a row of editing suites. The doors are heavy and flush against the frames. You open one and step inside. The room is bathed in the soft, low energy glow of standby lights. The great monitors are dimmed, their screens dark pools of glass reflecting the tiny, blinking jewels. A small blue light here, a steady green light there. They pulse slowly on and off, on and off, like the breathing of a machine in a deep sleep. You look at the editor's desk. The ergonomic chair is pushed in perfectly. Its fabric smooth and undisturbed. On the desk sits a single ceramic coffee cup, abandoned for the night. You can see the faint dried ring at the bottom, a quiet record of a day's work finished and put away. Beside it, a pair of headphones rests on a stand, their padded ears waiting for the morning's sound. In the corner of the room, you hear the hum. It is the low, constant vibration of the server cooling fans. It is a sound so steady, it becomes a part of the silence, a deep, grounding whir that vibrates through the soles of your shoes. It is the sound of data resting. It is a mechanical lullaby. You let your eyes follow the lines of the desk, the smooth arc of the keyboard, the organized rows of hard drives with their small, rhythmic flickers of amber light. Everything is ordered. Everything is tucked in. There is no creative tension here now. Only the peaceful aftermath of thought. You walk to the window that looks out into the hallway. The glass is thick and cool. You press your palm against it, feeling the slight chill. Outside, the hallway is a long, receding line of shadow and soft overhead light. You take a slow, deep breath, letting the steady hum of the servers fill your mind, clearing away any stray thoughts. The world of stories and images is held safely inside these hard drives, locked away in the dark, perfectly still. You step back out into the hallway, closing the door with a soft, padded thud. The silence of the carpet returns. You walk past the next door and the next, knowing each room is exactly like the last. Chairs pushed in, screens dark, the low hum of the night keeping watch. There is a deep satisfaction in the order of it. The day's work is saved. The machines are cool. You move down the hall, a shadow among the shadows, guided by the soft, rhythmic blinking of the standby lights. You move now to the prop warehouse, a vast cathedral of the everyday and the extraordinary. As you slide the door open, the air greets you with a heavy, sweet nostalgia. It is the scent of a century, the musk of old leather suitcases, the dry tang of seasoned timber, and the soft, powdery smell of velvet. You click your flashlight on, but the beam is low and soft. It catches the edge of history. To your left, a row of Victorian floor lamps stands in a perfect line, their fringed shades casting long, spindly shadows. To your right, a stack of wooden crates from a seafaring epic sits silent, the rope coiled around them like sleeping snakes. You walk down the center aisle. Your footsteps are muted here, cushioned by the dust and the sheer density of the things around you. You pass a shelf of glassware. The moonlight from a high clerestory window catches the rim of a crystal goblet, making it glow with a faint silver spark. On a velvet-covered table, a fake crown rests on a pedestal. Its glass jewels are dark now, but they catch a stray glint of your light, a slow shimmer of gold and crimson that fades as you move past. Everything here is still. The swords are in their racks. The telephones from the 1940s sit in a black rotary row, their bells silent. It is a library of objects, all resting between lives. You feel the weight of the stillness, a comfortable, crowded quiet. You take a slow breath, tasting the dry, still air, and continue your loop. The light of your torch dancing slowly over the history of dreams. Leaving the warehouse, you step back into the night air and head toward the row of silver trailers. They sit like polished cocoons under the stars. You enter the primary makeup trailer, and the atmosphere shifts instantly to something intimate and clean. The air smells of rosewater, aerosol hairspray, and the fine, chalky scent of face powder. It is a bright, sharp smell that feels clinical yet cozy. You look at the long vanity mirror that runs the length of the wall. the dozens of round white bulbs that usually blaze with heat are cold and dark now, reflecting only the soft blue light of the moon outside. You see the workstation of a lead artist. Brushes are laid out in a perfect fan-like row, their bristles soft and clean. A box of tissues sits nearby. A single white corner peeking out, frozen in place. In the corner, you hear the small domestic rattle of a mini fridge. It is a tiny, vibrating hum, a companionable sound that anchors the room. Inside, you know there are only bottles of water and cold eye masks resting in the dark. You look at the chair, the tall black director's chair, where an actor sat only hours ago. It is empty now. The headrest is slightly tilted. You reach out and give the chair a tiny, gentle nudge. It rocks back and forth, a slow, rhythmic motion that eventually settles back into perfect stillness. Everything is prepared for tomorrow. The sponges are stacked. The mirrors are white, clean of fingerprints. You breathe in the scent of powder one last time. Let out a slow sigh and step back down the metal stairs. Your boots clicking softly on the silver steps. Your final stop on the loop is the quiet sanctuary of the wardrobe department. The large room is dimly lit by a single overhead fixture, a peaceful space with thousands of characters hang suspended in time. The air here is clean and sharp. a mix of the chemicals from the spot cleaner, the stiff scent of starch, and the warm, comforting smell of freshly ironed slacks. You walk past the endless long metal racks. With every gentle step, the hangers sway slightly and you hear the softest sound in the entire studio, the gentle rustle of fabric. Swish, shush, swish, shush. Silks touching wool, cotton brushing against linen. It is a whispering sound, a lullaby of clothing. You let your fingers trail along a row of dark suits. The material is smooth and cool beneath your fingertips. Each garment is a silent shell, a uniform waiting patiently for the morning. You turn a corner and come to the shelves that line the far wall. Here are the accessories, hats and shoes, all organized by era, color, and size. You see rows of polished black boots, their leather gleaming softly in the low light. Next to them, a stack of felt fedoras sits like a collection of sleepy shadows. You pause near a mannequin dressed in a simple cream-colored dress. It stands perfectly still, a silent sentinel in the quiet room. You notice a small, faint scent of lavender, a hidden sachet tucked somewhere nearby. Everything in this room has a place. The shirts are pressed. The shoes are polished. The hats are stacked. The order is a comfort. The repetition is a promise. You reach the end of the aisle where you started your walk around the room. The circle is complete. You have checked the gates, the back lot, the sound stage, the editing rooms, the warehouse, and the trailers. Now the wardrobe is asleep. You take one final slow breath, filling your lungs with the clean, starchy air. You turn off the single light, plunging the room into peaceful darkness. As you walk back toward the exit of the building, you can hear the soft, final tink, tink, tink of the soundstage lights cooling one last time. The hum of the servers is a distant memory, a gentle vibration in the stillness of your mind. It is time now to complete the circle. You begin your final walk back toward the main entrance, moving through the studio one last time. As you go, you reach for the light switches. Flip, flip, flip. One by one, the corridors and rooms fall into a soft, natural darkness. You aren't taking the light away. You are simply letting the building sleep. You reach the final heavy door of the office complex. You insert your key. The sound is sharp and clean in the night air. Click. You turn the lock, feeling the solid mechanism slide into place. The building is secure. It is tucked in. You walk back toward the front gate, the same path you took hours ago. The asphalt is cool under your boots. The air is even stiller now. The distant city sounds having faded into a low, indistinguishable hum. The moonlight makes the studio lot look like a silver map, a world of shadows and calm, straight lines. You reach the security booth. The warm yellow light is still there, a steady beacon in the dark. You look back over your shoulder for one last scan of the lot. You see the silhouettes of the sound stages, the quiet facades of the back lot, and the high, dark ridges of the warehouse roofs. Everything is exactly where it belongs. Every prop, every costume, every coiled cable is resting. You give a small, slow nod to the guard in the booth. He reaches for the controls. The gates begin. Their familiar, rhythmic drone. Clack, clack, clack. The heavy iron sliders move slowly, meeting in the middle with the soft, final thud. The studio is closed. You stand there for a moment, listening to the silence you have helped create. Your keys give one last tiny jingle as you settle them in to your pocket. You feel a deep, heavy sense of completion. The work is done. The watch is over. You turn away from the gate and begin your walk home. Your mind as quiet and still as the empty streets behind you. You approach the station through wide glass doors. They slide open quietly, welcoming you inside. The air shifts as soon as you enter. Cooler, still. Your footsteps echo lightly across the polished floor. The ceiling rises high above you, holding the space open and calm. The night has softened everything. The main hall stretches out in front of you. Lights hang overhead in long rows, glowing gently. Their reflections shimmer faintly across the floor. The sound of your movement fades quickly, absorbed by the empty space. Somewhere, far away, a quiet announcement plays. The words are indistinct, more tone than meaning. It passes, and the silence returns. You look up at the large departure board. Rows of destinations and times glow softly. Letters change slowly, one line at a time. arriving, departing. There's no need to read closely. The information is there for anyone who needs it. You don't. You can simply let the lights shift and settle. The ticket counters are closed now. Glass windows reflect the empty hall. Stacks of brochures rest neatly behind the counter. Schedules folded and waiting for morning. Chairs sit pushed in. Everything is paused. A large clock hangs high on the wall. Its hands move steadily. Tick, pause, tick. Time is passing evenly here, without pressure. You don't need to hurry it along. You make your way down a short set of stairs toward the platforms. Your hand rests lightly on the railing, changes as you descend, more open, more distant. The air feels cooler here. The platform stretches out on either side, long, straight. Overhead lights cast soft pools of brightness along the concrete. Tracks run parallel into the darkness. A gentle breeze moves through the space. You stand for a moment, simply breathing. In the distance, you hear it before you see it. A low, steady rumble. Lights appear at the far end of the platform. The train glides slowly by. Windows glow warm as they move by. Faces inside barely visible. Then it's gone. The sound fades. The platform returns to stillness. You walk over to a bench and sit for a moment. The surface is cool and solid beneath you. You rest your hands in your lap. There's nothing to wait for. No schedule to follow. After a quiet pause, you stand again. Far down the platform, you notice movement. A small maintenance crew works quietly. A broom moves back and forth. A cart rolls slowly. They don't rush. Their work is steady and calm. The station is being cared for. You walk up to the overpass above the tracks. From here, you can see the platforms below. Lights form long, glowing lines. Tracks stretch outward, disappearing into the night. Everything looks orderly, prepared. Back on the platform, the space feels even quieter now. A loose paper flutters gently near the edge, then settles. The air hums faintly with electricity. The station breathes. You glance at another clock. The time has moved on. It doesn't matter how much. The night is wide enough to hold it. You walk back toward the main hall, up the stairs, across the open floor. The glass doors wait ahead. They slide open quietly as you pass through. Outside, the city feels calmer. The station remains behind you, awake in its own quiet way. Trains will continue to arrive and depart. The night will keep moving, and you don't have to go anywhere at all. And now, as the station settles into the deep hours of the night, you can rest. Everything that needs to move will move. Everything that needs to arrive will arrive. You don't need to follow the tracks. You don't need to watch the clock. If you're still listening, you can let the sound fade, like a train disappearing into the distance. The lobby is lit by a row of warm brass lamps. Their light pools gently across the marble floor, catching the edges of polished columns and the curve of the grand staircase. A large clock behind the front desk marks the time with a soft, steady tick, tick, pause, tick. The air smells faintly of fresh flowers and polished wood. A leather guest book rests open on the counter, its pages waiting quietly for tomorrow's arrivals. Behind the desk, a row of brass room keys hangs in neat order, each one labeled, each one still. The night clerk stands behind the counter, straightening a small stack of postcards. He aligns their edges carefully. Tap, tap. A reservation slip is folded and placed in the drawer for the morning shift. A pen is returned to its holder. The desk lamp casts a small, soft, golden circle across the polished wood. Outside the tall glass doors, the city glows faintly in the distance. Inside, everything is quiet. Across the lobby, the elevators rest with their doors closed. Small lights blink patiently above each one. Every so often, there is a gentle hum as the system shifts. A low, steady sound that feels like breathing. The night clerk glances at the panel, then makes a note on his clipboard. Room 714 requested an early wake-up call. Room 312 asked for extra towels. Everything is prepared. He steps into the elevator and presses the button for the 5th floor. The doors close with a soft chime. Upward, slowly. When the doors open, the hallway stretches out in both directions. Long, carpeted, quiet. Soft wall sconces cast warm light across the patterned floor. Room numbers glow gently beside each door. Down the hall, an ice machine hums quietly. A linen cart waits by the service door, stacked neatly with folded sheets and pillows. Nothing moves. Everything is ready. Back downstairs, the hotel lounge sits in shadow. Leather chairs gather around low tables. A grand piano rests with its lid closed. The bar lights glow dimly, reflecting off rows of clean glasses. A fireplace holds the last warm embers of the evening. The room smells faintly of coffee and polished brass. Tomorrow it will be full again, but tonight it belongs to the quiet. In the dining room, tables are set for breakfast. White cloths hang smoothly over each surface. Silverware rests in perfect alignment. Coffee machines hum softly, warming for the morning. A tray of cups waits beside the counter. The chairs are pushed in. The lights are low. Everything is waiting. The kitchen is spotless. Counters shine beneath fluorescent lights. Pots hang from their hooks. A clipboard rests beside tomorrow's menu. A refrigerator door hums gently. Somewhere, water drips slowly into a sink. Plink. Pause. Plink. The stairwell curves upward through the building. Metal railings cool beneath the touch. Footsteps echo softly. One floor, then another. At each landing, a window looks out over the sleeping city. Lights dot the skyline. Cars move slowly below. The world continues, but gently. On the rooftop, the air is cool and still. The city stretches out in every direction. Buildings glow softly against the night sky. A few windows remain lit. Somewhere, a train horn sounds in the distance. The breeze moves across the terrace. The night clerk rests his hands on the railing and looks out for a moment. There is nowhere else he needs to be. The hotel waits below, steady and unchanged. Back inside, the night office is small and warm. A desk lamp glows beside a ledger. Security monitors show empty hallways. A coffee mug sits on a coaster. The clock reads just after 2. Notes are written neatly. Reports are filed. The night moves on. The gift shop sits dark behind its glass walls. Postcards line the shelves. Snow globes catch the light. T-shirts hang neatly folded. A rack of umbrellas waits by the door. Tomorrow, guests will browse and wander. Tonight, everything rests. The side entrance is checked. The door is locked. The handle is tested. The latch clicks into place. A sign reads, "Welcome." Even at night, the hotel is ready. Back at the front desk, the lamps glow steadily. The clock continues its quiet work. Tick, pause, tick. The keys hang where they always do. The guest book waits. The elevator lights blink softly. The hotel breathes. Hours pass slowly. The city outside grows quieter. Traffic fades. Lights go dark. Inside, the hotel remains awake in its own way, holding space, keeping watch, waiting for morning. The night clerk completes his final walk. Lights are dimmed. Doors are checked. Notes are written. The building settles. At the desk, he sets down his pen. The lamp glows. The clock ticks. Everything is exactly as it should be. And now, as the hotel rests through the quiet hours of the night, you can rest too. The museum's front doors stand tall and heavy, thick glass framed by stone. Outside, the streetlights glow softly, and the city moves on in the distance. Inside, the air is cooler. The lobby is wide and open. A polished floor stretches out under dim ceiling lights. The night watchman checks the lock. His hand wraps around the metal bar. He presses gently. The door does not move. Locked. He checks the second door. Then the third. Each one firm, still, secure. A small clipboard rests against his palm. A pen clicks once. Click. A note is made, and the museum settles deeper into the night. The lobby smells faintly of stone and clean air. A hint of paper from brochures. A hint of polish from the floor. The ticket desk is empty now. Computers dark. A velvet rope hangs in a gentle curve. A poster for an upcoming exhibit stands on its easel. The letters are large. The image is calm. The night watchman walks slowly across the lobby. His footsteps are soft, but the room is so open that they echo anyway. Step, pause, step. The sound rises into the high ceiling and fades. Everything here is meant to be quiet. Even the echoes are quiet. Near the entrance is a large museum map, a clean diagram of the galleries, arrows and labels, rooms arranged like a calm little city of art and history. The night watchman glances at it out of habit. He knows the route. He has walked it many times. Still, it is comforting to see, to know the museum is organized, that everything has its place. He lifts his flashlight. Not a harsh beam, just a soft circle of light. He doesn't need it much. The museum keeps a gentle glow at night, but it feels good to carry it. A small lantern in his hand, a quiet companion. The first gallery opens like a wide hallway. Paintings line the walls, large, framed, still. The lights are dimmed to protect the art. Each picture is lit softly, as if under moonlight. The air is still. No voices now. No shoes scuffing. No children whispering questions. Only the watchman's slow steps. Step. Pause. Step. He stops in front of one painting, a landscape, a river, a line of trees, a pale sky. It feels as though the scene inside the frame is sleeping too. He looks for a moment, then moves on, slowly, unhurried. Beyond the paintings is a marble hall. The floor changes beneath his shoes. The sound changes too. A softer echo, a faint brightness even in the low light. Stone columns rise to the ceiling. Their surfaces are cool and smooth. A bench sits in the center of the hall, wood and metal, empty now. A brochure lies folded on one end. The watchman picks it up. Smooth paper, a simple map. He places it on a small table near the wall, straightens it, aligns it, tap, tap, order restored. He continues. The sculpture gallery is one of the quietest places in the museum. Statues stand on white pedestals. A shoulder, a hand, a face turned slightly toward the floor. They seem to hold their own silence. The watchman walks between them slowly. His flashlight circle moves across marble and bronze. Soft highlights appear and then fade. A curve of stone, a fold of carved cloth, a fingertip. He pauses just long enough, then moves on. The sculptures do not mind. They have been waiting a long time. They can wait a little longer. The ancient room has cases of glass Inside are objects that are small and careful. A bowl, a coin, a piece of pottery with a painted pattern. The cases hum faintly with climate control. A soft, steady sound, not loud, just present. The watchman leans slightly toward one case. The glass is cool. He sees his reflection faintly, and behind it, an ancient cup resting in a cradle of dark fabric. It is strange sometimes to be standing here at night, surrounded by things that have lasted for hundreds, even thousands of years. They feel calm. They feel patient. The watchman breathes slowly in and out, and keeps walking. The dinosaur hall is the largest room. The ceiling rises high like a cathedral. A skeleton stretches across the center. Long ribs, a spine like a quiet bridge, bones pale in the low light. At night, the dinosaur hall feels even more spacious, as if the room expands when no one is looking. The watchman steps in and pauses. The air is cooler here. He can hear and feel the faint hum of the building. Ventilation, electricity, the museum breathing. He walks along the edge of the room. His flashlight glides across the bones. A curve, a joint, a long tail reaching into shadow. Everything is still. Everything is at rest. A corridor leads toward the planetarium. The walls are darker here. The carpet muffles footsteps. Soft, quiet. A sign points the way. A small arrow. The watchman doesn't enter the planetarium tonight. He simply checks the door. His hand touches the handle. Cool metal. It doesn't move. Locked. He nods slightly, as if the door can understand. Everything where it should be. He continues down the corridor. The gift shop is closed. Lights dim. Shelves arranged neatly. Books stacked. Postcards lined in rows. Small replicas of statues. Snow globes. Magnets. A rack of umbrellas. A display of pencils in a cup. The watchman looks through the glass. He sees his reflection again. A calm figure in a quiet world. He checks the lock. It holds. He moves on. The security office is warm and small. A desk, a chair, monitors showing empty rooms, the lobby, the marble hall, the dinosaur hall, all quiet, all still. A small fan hums near the ceiling. A kettle sits on a coaster. The watchman pours water into a cup. He doesn't drink much, just enough to be comfortable. He writes in the night log. The pen moves slowly across paper. Scratch. Pause. Scratch. He notes the time. He notes the route. He notes that all is calm. He sets the pen down and looks at the monitors once more. Still, still, still. There is one more check upstairs. The watchman steps into the stairwell. The air is cooler. Concrete walls. Metal railings. His hand rests on the rail as he climbs. One step, then another. A small echo follows each movement. He reaches the landing and looks through a narrow window. Outside, the city is dark blue. Streetlights glow softly. The night seems to stretch on and on. He climbs another flight, slowly. Upstairs, the upper gallery holds smaller rooms, photographs, sketches, delicate pieces. The lighting is very low here. The watchman's flashlight becomes useful again. A soft circle moving across the floor, across a wall, across a frame. He pauses at a photograph, a black and white street scene. A person standing under a street lamp. A quiet moment captured in time. It feels familiar, as if the photograph belongs to the same night, to the same still hours. He breathes in and out. In one small room is a bench, just a simple wooden bench under a single light. The watchman sits for a moment, not because he is tired, just because the room invites stillness. He listens to the museum, the hum of the building, a distant click as the climate system shifts, a soft, settling sound in the walls. He feels the bench beneath him, solid, steady. He sits. He breathes. The museum keeps watch with him for a few slow moments. Then he stands again and continues. The route returns toward the lobby, back through halls of art, past marble columns, past sculptures and glass cases. Everything exactly where it was. Everything waiting patiently for morning. The watchman's flashlight circle moves slowly, a quiet moon in his hand. He checks a door, a lock. a corner of a hallway, all calm, all secure. The museum is asleep. Back at the entrance, the front doors stand as they did before. Tall, heavy, still. The watchman looks out through the glass. The street is quiet. A car passes slowly in the distance. Its headlights sweep across the pavement and fade. Inside, the museum remains softly lit. A calm island in the night. He makes one final note on the clipboard. Click. A small check mark. He turns off the flashlight. The museum holds its own light now, a gentle glow, a quiet presence. And now, as the museum rests through the quiet hours of the night, you can rest too. There's nothing you need to remember, nothing you need to follow. If you're still listening, you can let the words soften now, like footsteps fading down a long hallway. The museum will be here tomorrow. The city will be here tomorrow. For now, there is only the stillness of the night. I'll be keeping watch while you sleep. Sleep